before this day is over, something very ugly is going to happen to hundreds of American women. It is a deliberate act of violence. It is one of the fastest growing crimes in this country, and any woman could become its victim. Sometimes it is a woman's own automobile in which she finds herself trapped with an angry rapist. Unlocked car doors and windows are open invitations to the rapist who chances on a lone woman driver.
If you search for public service announcements regarding rape prevention, this is one of the very, very few ads that you will find. Within the few you can find, a common theme emerges. The same tired advice that relies on the diligence of the potential victim. Don't let your drink out of sight. Don't walk alone at night. Don't dress provocatively. While these tips may be useful in certain scenarios, the reality is that roughly 80% of rapes in America are committed by someone the victim already knows. Therefore, not only are these PSAs few and far between, they are largely ineffective. Even the largest producer of PSAs in American media, the Ad Council, doesn't have a single rape awareness ad campaign. The following is a collection of excerpts from interviews with rape survivors. In each case, the victim was familiar with her assailant.
I was still just really floppy. Nothing was cooperating. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to do something, but nothing was working. And all I could do was I managed to zip up my pants again. It was like my act of defiance.
And he climbed into bed with me. And I was weak, I was exhausted, and he started going for it, and I kept telling him, no, I don't want to. I'm tired. Leave me alone.
He, for some reason, and I don't know why, but he had nails, like long nails. I remember him ripping like my pants, my shorts, and pulling my underwear down, and literally like there were tear marks on my leg. And I was just, when we talk about frozen, my body just locked up, and I can feel myself. I can just feel myself, just like he's not going to do this to me. In my mind, I was saying that.
And I just remember him holding my legs in the air and raping me and just kind of lying there and going, oh, I'm not a virgin anymore. Like this was my first time.
We asked professionals and survivors about the efficiency of the No Means No campaign in regards to rape prevention.
We can talk about cancer. Why can't we talk about rape? We can talk about AIDS. But we can't talk about rape? Are we going to get billboards popping up in LA, 10 years down the line now after condoms and AIDS have been advertised and then being like, don't rape? Why do we have to wait that long? Because I don't see a lot of billboards in LA with that stuff. Why not?
Well, that's a tragedy. I mean, the tragedy is that is the only one that we've had. But the problem with that is that it becomes a joke. And I think I've heard more the joke aspect of it than I have the serious, no means no.
No means no. One of our limited forms of discussing consent within sex. But of course, because we're so phobic about really discussing and exploring all the components and pieces of sex, of course we'd only have one small, really rigid version of how to define for yourself that you're happy or not happy with what's happening. I think whenever we're talking about rape or sexual assault, we have to pan out and talk about just sex as a topic on a larger scale. And I think to do rape prevention is to do sex education. Because again, I think it's about just first normalizing and getting comfortable with the concept and the topic of sexuality. Because we can't even begin to talk about assaultive sex and forced sex if we can't talk about the fundamental elementary pieces of sexuality and relationships. So we have to start really basic. And there's something scary in that. We have a lot of work to do because, again, rape prevention is 5 steps down the road. We haven't even gotten a fundamental healthy sexual education program.
It's time to start having honest and frank conversations about this subject, as uncomfortable as it is. because we have come to accept it as a part of the human existence. And I don't think this should ever be accepted as part of any existence.
We're all very concerned about drugs. We're all very concerned about drinking and driving, texting and driving. We all, as a general community, we make wristbands for things. We put bumper stickers on our cars for certain things. But you never see any call to action for date rape or acquaintance rape or the huge issue of rape on college and high school campuses. And I'd like people to really realize that and go, oh yeah, that is a major problem in America, and oh yeah, nobody's doing anything about it, and oh yeah, maybe I can contribute something.
So how do we push for effective anti-rape public education? Like with any other prevalent issue, change starts with open conversation. Have open conversations about sex, sexual violence, and consent. Don't trivialize rape or its effects on victims. Take sexual assault claims seriously. Ignoring and belittling a victim only exacerbates an already difficult situation. Don't shy away from the conversation when rape is brought up in popular culture and the news. The first step to solving a problem is talking about it.